สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Kamnoetvidya Science Academy. We are truly delighted to welcome each and every one of you to our school and extend our warmest welcome to all those who have traveled to be here.
My name is Trogan Papangkorn Pongchamnapai.
My name is Prima Pipatnarapong.
It is an honor for both of us to be your MCs today on this very special occasion of the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair, or KVIS-ISF, which this year operates under the theme of Pioneers of Tomorrow.
The theme Pioneers of Tomorrow emphasizes every participant's potential as a future innovator, encouraging them to shape the world through scientific pursuits. It encourages thinking beyond the present and inspires participants to recognize the transformative impact of their contributions, aiming to create a brighter and better world.
Yes, Prem, and we would like to welcome our 15 visiting countries with a brief video. Please enjoy. Once we call out your name, please wave your flags proudly in the air. Queensland Academy for Science, Mathematics and Technology, Commonwealth of Australia.
Manzume Kherat Institute, Islamic Republic of Iran.
Miyazaki Nishi High School, Japan.
Ritsumeikan University, Japan.
New Generation School, Priyasisowat High School, Kingdom of Cambodia.
St. Odufus Lyceum, Kingdom of the Netherlands.
School for Gifted and Ethnic Students, National University of Laos, Lao People's Democratic Republic.
Experimental School of Beihang University, People's Republic of China.
GT College, Hong Kong, Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China.
Budi Mulia Dua International High School, Republic of Indonesia.
Korea Science Academy of KVIS, Republic of Korea.
Hwa Chong Institution, Republic of Singapore.
Philippine Science High School, Eastern Visayas Campus, Republic of the Philippines.
Alferov Lyceum Physical Technical High School of St. Petersburg Academic University, Russian Federation.
Gymnasium Boarding School number 13 for Gifted Girls, Russian Federation.
Camborne Science and International Academy, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Jitrada School, Kingdom of Thailand.
Demonstration School of Khon Kaen University, Secondary Level Faculty of Education, Kingdom of Thailand.
Demonstration School of Prince of Songkhla University, Kingdom of Thailand.
Lư Kham Han Warin Shamrap School, Kingdom of Thailand.
Mahidol Vithyanusaran School, Kingdom of Thailand.
Princess Julapon Science High School, Chonburi, Kingdom of Thailand.
Princess Julapon Science High School, Pathum Thani, Kingdom of Thailand.
Princess Julapon Science High School, Phetchaburi, Kingdom of Thailand.
St. Louis School, Cha Cheong Sao, Kingdom of Thailand.
And finally, Kamnoetvidya Science Academy, Kingdom of Thailand. Oh wow, it seems like our guests have come from all around the world. Today, our students are proud to present some opening performances to welcome our guests from abroad. I'll let Trogon introduce the first show.
Of course, Prem. To welcome you all to Thailand, we will kick off the event with a traditional Thai dance performance called Ram Si Nuan. For a kaleidoscope of vibrant colors and graceful movements, we will take you through time to experience a show derived from the story Chai Shed, which reflects upon the distinguished mannerisms of Thai women in the past, accompanied with some enchanting harmonies from our very own Wong Pi Phat Mai Nuam, a collection of Thai instruments. This performance was conducted by none other than our esteemed Thai music teacher, Miss Chanachai Rön. Let the show begin! Thank you to all the performers for that unique, one-of-a-kind show.
Up next is another performance by our talented peers. Step into a world inspired by the movie The Greatest Showman, where our dance show is a dazzling celebration of dreams. The magic of the film is brought to life by our performers, weaving a mesmerizing tapestry of movement that honors the spirit of dreamers everywhere. Let us watch an unforgettable experience that captures the extraordinary essence of chasing your dreams through the art of dance. Please enjoy.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. I know you want me, so don't keep saying our hands are tied. You claim it's not in the cards, but fate is pulling you miles away and out our destiny. What if we rewrite the stars? Say you were meant to be mine. Nothing could keep us apart. You'd be the one I was meant to find. Tonight, all I want is to fly with you. All I want is to fall with you. So just give me all of you. It feels impossible. It's not impossible. Say that it's possible. How do we rewrite the stars? Say you were meant to be mine. Nothing can keep us apart. 'Cause you are the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, and it's up to me. No one can say what we get to be. Why don't we rewrite the stars? Changing the world to be ours. You know I want you. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious.
this is me.
Thank you to all our performers for that stunning and breathtaking performance. I'm sure everybody here loved them as much as we did. It truly showcased one of the many talents of our students.
And now, we would like to welcome the principal of KVIS, Associate Professor Dr. Bunchot Pausawat Yanyong, to present a report to the chairperson. Please give him a big round of applause.
Dr. Pailin Chuchotawan, Chairman of the Governing Board. On behalf of our distinguished guests, including school principals, educators, and students, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for gracing the opening ceremony of this KVIS Invitational Science Fair. Today marks the beginning of the exciting journey that will unfold until the 2nd of February 2024. We are so thrilled to welcome 132 students, 61 educators, and 16 principals from 27 institutions spanning 15 nations. Their participation truly embodies the spirit of collaboration and friendships. We are also looking forward to the unveiling of 57 research papers, each representing the innovation from around the world. The core mission of this 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair is to cultivate the fertile ground for the exchange of information and scientific ideas. Our focal point lies in the nurturing the students for their acumen of research, empowering them with the tools to push forward the boundary of their knowledge. Throughout this event, they will showcase their ingenuity across the spectrum of STEM disciplines, including physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, engineering, material science, environmental science, and material science. In addition to presenting their findings through the poster and oral presentation, the students will have a chance to enjoy the refreshment excursion to world-renowned Nong Nut Botanical Garden. Delegates will engage in the immersive cultural experiences, celebrating both Thai tradition and also the rich global diversity. Furthermore, 10 esteemed educators have generously volunteered to share their expertise during this teacher sharing session, focusing on the art of nurturing scientific inquiry among the high school students. A dedicated principal meeting also scheduled, offering the educational leaders a platform to explore the potential collaboration in the realm of STEM education. We're confident that this event will forge a lasting connection and friendship among the administrators, educators, and students alike. Now, I would like to invite you, Dr. Pailin Chuchotawan, to deliver an opening speech and officially inaugurate this 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Bunchot Pausawat Yanyong, for a very comprehensive report.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Pailin Chuchotawan, Chairman of Governing Board Kamnoetvidya Science Academy, to deliver the opening speech. Please welcome.
Good morning, our distinguished guests, students, fellow science enthusiasts. Welcome to the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair. Today, under the inspiring theme of Pioneer to Tomorrow, we stand just on the ground of this school, but we are at the edge of a future enlightened by the curiosity, innovation, and the boundless potential of our young minds. Imagine, if you will, a world where yesterday's science fiction is tomorrow's reality, where the dreams of Isaac Asimov dance in the circuit of robots. The audacity of Marie Curie grows in the heart of nuclear fusion, and the boundless vision of Nikola Tesla crackled in the airwave of a wireless world. This, my student, is a playground of you today. The science fair is not merely a showcase of projects and experiments. It is a breeding ground for the pioneers of tomorrow, the trailblazer who will chart the course of our future. Here, beneath the inquisitive gaze of young minds, the seed of invention are sown. The blueprints of progress are drawn, and the spark of groundbreaking discovery ignite. Each one of you standing here today is a potential pioneer. You are the alchemist, the inventor, the explorer, and the visionary, the one who dare to ask why, and then dare to answer with the ingenuity and dedication. It is now your chance to stand on the shoulder of the giants like Galileo, Einstein, and Hawking, and reach for the star. The theme of this fair, the pioneer of tomorrow, is not just a call for action, but it is a promise. It is the promise that within this world, within these projects, within the very DNA of your ideas, lies the power to shape our world. You are the engineer who will design the city that breathes clean air, the scientist who will unlock the secrets of our human body, and the entrepreneur who will fuel the engine of a sustainable future. So let curiosity be your compass, the imagination be your fuel, and let passion be your driving force. Explore the uncharted territory of your projects, delve into the mystery of the unknown, and challenge the boundary of what we thought possible. Remember, every great discovery begins with a question, and every groundbreaking invention starts with a single spark of inspiration. Today, ignite that spark. Today, become a pioneer of tomorrow, and let this science fair be the launchpad for your dreams, the springboard for your innovation, and the first step on your journey to change this world. Thank you, and let the exploration begin now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pailin Chucho-Thawon, for your memorable opening address. And would you please give us the honor of declaring the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair open? As you can see, our friend Sai Meg on the right side of the auditorium is carrying crystal fragments scattered throughout the auditorium. Each shard symbolizes each talented and brilliant-minded individual from all around the globe. He'll then combine them in the center to craft a bigger crystal that radiates an even more luminous brilliance when united. Because wonderful things are created when wonderful minds work together. Now, he'll be handing over the crystal to Dr. Pailin Chushotawan to officially announce the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair open. Let's be part of this memorable moment together. On our count. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you again, Dr. Pailin Chushotawan. That was a very beautiful moment. Now, we would like to introduce the head of this year's KVIS-ISF, who will be speaking on behalf of the KVIS students. Please welcome Mr. Kamnoetvidya.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kamnoetvidya. On behalf of KVIS students, I'm very delighted to welcome you all to the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair 2024 here at our campus in Rayong, Thailand. We have been conducting this special event enthusiastically and always look forward to meeting you all here today. I strongly believe that all of us here are very passionate about science, mathematics, and innovation. And of course, this event is held to gather those students from all over the world to share our excellent discoveries and collaborate research and experience with others. This year's theme is Pioneers of Tomorrow. Science has been developed throughout history, and we all are standing on the shoulders of giants with an uncountable amount of past scientific knowledge, one of the most essential things shaping the world, from using firewood to using electricity, from living in caves to living in advanced accommodation. The world would not be the world today if ancient people hadn't dared to start seeking and exploring that knowledge. Likewise, brand new and further scientific knowledge must be pursued, studied, and thinking outside the box in order to keep the world's development towards the future ultra-modern world. So, as the next generation of scientists and researchers, we, by keenly searching for further knowledge, are capable of being pioneers of the future world. Once as passionate science, I was curious what are the commonalities between scientists and pioneers and what incorporate them. Then I asked ChatGPT, and it said there are many intersections between both of them, one of which is risk-taking and innovation. Scientists have to venture into the unknown experiment they are conducting with uncertain outcomes and challenging previous established theories, as well as pioneers who have to take risks by exploring uncharted territories and extending boundaries of what is already known. Both scientists and pioneers also have to be innovative to discover creative solutions and figure out new ideas and approaches. So, as the similar characteristics, we science students not only have an ability to conduct or to explore scientific research, but we also have the potential to use our skill, our knowledge, to seek more unknown information and develop the world through those innovative masterpieces, ushering to our key concept of the event, Pioneers of Tomorrow, the place where we are going to share and exhibit our scientific research, paving the way for the better tomorrow world. Besides, the event does not only mean to be a platform to showcase research. Apart from project presentation, for example, you are cordially invited to our cultural fair, a party for sharing and learning other cultures from all 10 countries all around the world. You'll be joining scientific activities which will broaden your horizon in science, as it's more than in-class science we are familiar with. And we will have an exciting excursion activity at Nong Nuch Botanical Garden in Pattaya, one of the most popular places to visit in Thailand. There are many other interesting activities I cannot cover during this welcome speech, as there are so many fun ones. But finally, I would like to thank everyone for joining us and participating in the 7th KVIS Invitational Science Fair. I hope all of you will have a wonderful experience, enjoy this memorable occasion, and most importantly, form good friendships among us and have a marvelous time together. Your contribution will be invaluable for us. Remember that you all have the potential of being pioneers of the future world, the better world which can be started by your bravery to break any limits of the scientific world. Let's have an excellent ISF week together. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Mr. Panatat.
As you know, the main purpose of KVIS-ISF is to share and expand our academic knowledge and to inspire young scientists. Today, we are delighted to have our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Suthishai Asapamrungrat.
He has received a PhD in chemistry engineering from the Imperial College London, United Kingdom, where he also received his Master of Science with distinction in advanced chemical engineering.
He is currently an A1 professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering at Chulalongkorn University, Thailand, where he is the director of Biocircular Green Economy Technology and Engineering Center and the vice president of the Science Society of Thailand under the patronage of His Majesty the King. He is also a visiting professor in the International Research Organization for Advanced Science and Technology, Kumamoto University, Japan, since 2022.
In a few moments, our keynote speaker will deliver a speech introducing biorefineries and their role in achieving a net zero target. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Suthishai Asapamrungrat. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the MCs, very young and energetic MC. Very good job. And let's say I'm very happy to come here. One of the reasons is that one of my kids used to be KVIS student, KVIS batch 3, and he earned many things from KVIS. This is very good. I trust that everyone, especially the KVIS student, they enjoy the experience, especially this event, the International Science Fair. I think this is the way that many people around the world gather together and share and become friendships. That is very good. And I also happy that I see the performance in the morning. You see, I trust that you feel amazed that science and technology students, they can perform very well, professionally. I trust that maybe right now they just get changed and go to the lab. Probably. Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to start my presentation. As you can see, the topic of my presentation is on the biorefinery and their roles in achieving net zero. I am having the background of chemical engineering. May I ask, you student in this room, anyone would like to go for chemical engineering? If you have, can you raise your hand? Chemical engineering. Do you know what is chemical engineering? Oh, see nobody at all. So sad, yeah. Just a few, okay, that's good. Let's say chemical engineering is one field of the chemical engineer, of the engineering. And our duty is that we apply chemistry, biology, physics, mathematics, economics, and so on in order to transform energy, material to valuable energy and products. So this is the way that we are doing. So this is one of the aspects from chemical engineering, from chemical engineer that will tell you the story about this. I would like to start with these photos. I obtained it from the Sustainable Development Goal report last year, or SDG report. You can see that we are facing so many problems: poverty, lack of energy, clean waters, and so on. So many problems around the world. And fortunately that for the UN, I trust that everyone have seen this slide, these photos. This is the 17 SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, that we plan to achieve in 2030. And one of the major problems that we are facing nowadays is on the climate change, global warming. You can see that there are so many problems right now: extreme weathers and sometimes flooding or droughts. So this causes you many problems for sure. So there are a number of activities that try to reduce the rise of the temperature, global temperatures. The recent one is the COP28 in Dubai. I trust that you have heard about COP28. And from the meeting, they seem to reach the conclusion that they are trying to move away from the fossil. So this is one of the things that we have to do. And for Thailand, I think we set the target that by 2050, we will go to carbon neutrality. And by 2065, we go to net zero. So this is the thing that we have to do it. And certainly, there must be a plan to achieve it. And this is some of the study that they show that we have to reduce probably about 300 million tons per year. How could we do it? There are a number of ways that we can do. But I will skip it to these photos. I think this photo shows very important message that if you would like to reach, the temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius, you need to keep the fossil underneath about 60%. That is a big effort. But as you know that now we set the target, we would like to reduce the temperature increase below 1.5 degrees Celsius. So it becomes more difficult. So we need to keep about 88% of the fossil underneath the world. So how can we achieve it? Surely we need to go for the renewable and probably the bio-based resources. So this is one of the key important that if we look at the status of Thailand and Southeast Asia, you can see that we have abundance of the biomass, bioresources. And for Thailand, if we look at our statistics, we are among the top producer of many agricultural products. For example, cassava, natural rubber, palm oil, sugar, and so on. So this is the evidence that if we could utilize our biomass, bioresources, that will be good. we no need to get more fossil from underneath. So that would be the way that we can keep our temperature below 1.5 or even lower. The best way is stop using it, but surely it's impossible because the transition is not that easy. So this is the way that biorefinery would play a very important role. And if we also look at some statistics in Thailand, this is something like inconvenient truth. I would like to say that about 1/3 of our people are in the agricultural sectors. Somehow the GDP generated from this agricultural sector is only 8%, around 8%. So if we look in the positive way that we have plenty of room for improvement, that will be good. So this is the one that we have to do it seriously. However, if we look, there is a big challenge. There is a big challenge for sure. You look at the photo on the left, conventional fossil fuel is easy to extract, and we have earned so long experience, we can put it out cheaply. But if we want to transform it to BCG, I trust that many people from Thailand would have heard about this term, bio-circular green. This is the way to make our living more sustainable. So we need to go to the renewable resource, especially the bio-based resources. It's not that easy to transform. You know that our existing facility, is it possible to put biomass in the oil biorefinery? Impossible. So this is the challenge that we have to use biorefinery to make it happen. However, if we try to think how to make it happen, would it happen in a short time? Is it possible or not? You can look at our historical development of the present petrol-based economy. We spent more than 100 years trying to utilize oil, crude oil, natural gas, and so on to make valuable products and chemicals. However, during the way we developed so many knowledge, and I trust that based on the existing knowledge, we can make the biorefinery industry happen easier. So maybe it takes shorter time to make it happen, to be more competitive. And as you know that it's not easy to just put the biomass to the existing refinery to make the product. So the way that to make it happen, we need to go to the biorefinery. And I'm going to tell you in more detail how to make it happen. And I'm sure that biorefinery is a very sustainable way towards the net zero target. And certainly, to make it happen, we need technology. So in my talk, I also would like to show you some concept we call the process intensification and multifunctional reactor. They will play a very important role to make the biorefinery-based technology more competitive than the existing one. So I would like to start by telling you what is biorefinery. So if we say biorefinery, maybe we just go to the same concept like the petroleum refinery. So you use crude oil, natural gas, and try to convert it to valuable product. Biorefinery, the same. You have biomass, and then you try to separate and then convert it into valuable energy, fuels, food, feed, material, and so on. So the same concept. But in fact, it's not that easy because the composition of the crude oil, you see that mainly consists of hydrocarbon, carbon and hydrogen. But for biomass feedstock, it consists of many more things, many more molecules. So you have to do it more difficult. I would like to introduce you the book A to Z of biorefinery. I am one of the editors of the book. We get this book because we would like to provide the information that if you would like to convert your existing economy based on the fossil to the biorefinery one, what do you have to do? What kind of the step that we have to do in order to do it, to make it happen? So in order to get this book project done, it's not easy also. We have to invite many experts around the world to have workshop in Bangkok, in Thailand. And then we discuss a lot and we come up with the idea that why not making one book that may be a Bible for converting the economy to the bio-based. So this A to Z of biorefinery that will be directed towards all the aspects necessary for the development of the sustainable platform, biorefinery platform. So I'm going to tell you in more detail that to make it happen, we need 3 key ingredients, 3 main features. The first one is on the bioresources and bio-based product. You see that the product that we are using right now, do you think you need to get the molecules of the PVC or the molecules of some certain specific one? Actually, it's not. We only want it property. Any chemical that can do the same property is okay. So it is possible that the different molecules based on the biorefinery that can do the same job is still okay. So this is the one that we have to know the available bioresources and also the possible bio-based products that can do the same job or even better is still okay, acceptable. And the second feature that very necessary is on the conversion technology. As I mentioned to you earlier that for the molecules of the biomass, very complicated. You know that it consists for the biomass, lignocellulosic biomass, it mainly consists of lignin, cellulose, hemicellulose, and we have to fractionate it and then utilize maybe each component and each molecules. You say that it is cellulose, but in fact the molecules, there are big variety of them. So we have to handle something much more difficult. So the technology side, we need the conversion technology. And also another important one is the downstream recovery and processing. So this is the one that we combine it into the processing technology like this. And the last part, which is also very important, is on the methods and tools for process creation, design, and analysis. As you know that it's quite difficult for the biorefinery-based technology to be competitive with the existing one. Industry doesn't want to change, especially if the solution come to the way that it's gonna be more expensive, still uncertain about the production. So this part also very important, and you need to integrate something we call the process system engineering in order to think maybe you can fail it on the table or on your own computer. You cannot just think that, oh, this process should be okay, so you just set up the plan. It's too costly. So this is the way that methods and tools for process creation, design, and analysis are also very important. So this is just to go to the first part. I just show you some information that based on our existing oil and gas, you can see that there are so many building block chemical that can be used further to produce many valuable products. And if we look at the biorefinery scenario, you can see that there are a number of feedstock that we can use it for producing valuable chemical, fuel, and so on. You can see that even waste can be useful as well. So we can see that there are a number of the feedstock that we can use, including CO2. As we are addressing about the net zero target, we have to try to suppress the CO2 in the air. So probably if you can make the direct conversion of CO2 to something, that also very useful. No need to wait for the plant to generate some sugar, lignin, and so on. So it can be a shorter moment. And in this slide, I just show you that for the biorefinery platform and bio-based product, you can see from the feedstock, you can have the starch available in Thailand, sugar, lignocellulosic crop, oil crops, in order to make it to a number of the comparable products that we can use. We can use in the biorefinery. And in Thailand, I just would like to address that in Thailand, the government has a policy that palm oil, which we generate, the third producer, they try to convert it into valuable chemicals and products. For example, the biotransformer oil, I'm sure that in a few years, you will see this one in commercial market. Now, there are a number of the research activity that working in this area, and also palm oil can be used to make the methyl ester sulfonate, important ingredient in the detergent. And also palm oil can be used for producing biojet fuel. And I'm sure that you know that right now it is quite stringent that if you fly from one place to the other, they will think seriously that you have a very good fuel or not. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to fly over. And also maybe they will charge you something. So this is the way that we can utilize many waste, such as glycerol, a byproduct from biodiesel. It can be utilized for making so many valuable products. And also for ethanol, in Thailand we produce lots of ethanol. And I'm sure that if somehow the EV coming, the demand of the gasoline going down, also ethanol going down, so it is possible that we can use our existing facility for making ethanol to convert them to some other things, like the ethylene, which is also useful for the petrochemical. So it will be the green ethylene that can be used, and the existing facility can be useful also. So this is another one that gonna be very interesting, as I mentioned earlier, that lignocellulosic material, they can be extracted into different components and convert them to valuable products. The technology for making it happen, not that easy. So many area, research area, many disciplines need to work together in order to make it happen. This is just an example that there are a big wide variety of the technology that can be converted the lignocellulosic. For this one, it is the lignin to valuable chemical such as phenol, BTX, vanillin or vanilla that we have it in our ice cream and so on. So it is possible that we need the conversion technology to make it happen. And for the third one, the downstream recovery, which is also very important. The downstream recovery somehow, based on our existing technology, the mixture that we have to separate are quite different in terms of the characteristic. Let's say mainly they are in dilute solution, and most of the time that the components are quite sensitive in the thermal and also quite reactive. So we need to take care of them very carefully. Otherwise, it can be further converted to something else. And also, the molecules somehow they are quite similar, so the separation become more difficult. So this is the thing that our research and development are necessary. And this is the methods and tools that I would like to show you, that you can see from this diagram that there are so many different alternative feedstock. You can use maybe bagasse, you can use rice straw, corn cobs as the source for the lignocellulosic material. And based on the feedstock, there are still so many conversion technology that you have to choose. And also, there are a number of possible products. So if you are working in industry, you have a big question. What kind of product do you want? What kind of the feedstock do you want? What kind of technology that you prefer to use in order to comply with so many constraints? So you can see that the problems involve so many possibilities. That's why process system engineering, computer simulation are very essential. So this is the part that so important that we can think carefully. If you look at the book, this is one of our previous work. We focus on the pulp and paper industry. For the pulp and paper industry, they also suffer from the use of the electronic device. For example, you use iPad, so the number of the pulp and paper become lower. So we are thinking what could be the possible solution to utilize the cellulose part or the hemicellulose part and also the lignin part of the pulp and paper industry in order to convert it into valuable chemical such as ethanol, lactic acid, succinic acid, DME, and so on. So this is the one that we generate something we call superstructure that consists of possible product, that consists of possible conversion technology. So we put everything in computer and use optimization in order to find the solution based on some certain constraint. So this is the one that we try to develop some methodology. As you know that there are so many possibilities, so it's impossible to run the optimization for all, to get all the information. So we just propose something we call the systematic methodology for sustainable biorefinery development. It consists of 3 stages. The first one is on the synthesis stage, trying to gather information and then use optimization to select the suitable product processing technology. And then we go to the stage 2 in specific design. And from the design, you can see many possibilities to further improve the performance. Let's say if you look at the CO2 emission or energy requirement, something you can see the possibility that we can design our process in order to meet all the requirement. And stage 3 is we call innovation. It is the stage that we further improve the existing. So this is the one that we propose, and we use the computer to get the right solution. So this is an example that you can see in the book if you are interested in. And so many things that we have to think about. For example, this is the work that they also consider the location-based synthesis problems, because your biomass also available at different parts of the country. So you have to take into account of the location as well. So this is some of the example. And certainly it is important to have some tools to make the calculation simple. Otherwise, if you do it by hand calculation, it takes ages. So this is the one that there are a number of tools available in commercial that you can use. Just introduce a little bit about this. The next topic that I would like to address to you, as you know that we need good technology to be more competitive compared to the existing one. So the concept of the process intensification and multifunctional reactor could do the job. What is process intensification? I'm sure that if you look at these two photos, you can see very clear. The left one is the existing refinery. Maybe if you go to Rayong, you can see a big refinery plant, petrochemical plant. And the picture on the right, this is something that we would like to use the concept of process intensification to make the same production capacity, but with smaller size, require smaller land area and less energy, less problems to the environment. Is it possible? Yes, possible. Sometimes, if you look maybe an example that if you see some reactor somehow very big, an example is that sometimes it is big because the reaction is highly exothermic. So if the reaction is highly exothermic, you need to remove heat from the chemical reactor. And most of the time, the limitation is at the rate of energy transfer. So that's the reason that you don't want to run the reaction at high rate, because it generates so much heat and it can go to the runaway or even go to explosion. So if you can find some equipment that can remove heat very fast, for example, using a microreactor with high surface area to unit volume, it's possible that the big size reactor can become small. So this is the one that we can use the concept of process intensification. So this is an example quite clear that in the past, technology based on mixing existing, many operations still based on mixing as well. So this is something that we need to make improvement. One of the very successful case for the process intensification and multifunctional reactor is this one. We call reactive distillation. In the past, when we produce methyl acetate, we use one chemical reactors, and somehow the reaction is limited by the equilibrium. So the product needs to be separated, and the product somehow it's not easy to separate. because they have some azeotropic mixture. So you cannot use a simple distillation column to separate them. And in practice, they need 9 columns in order to separate the mixture of the reaction products. Somehow, with the purpose of using reactive distillation, one single column, reaction taking place in the distillation column. But during the reaction taking place, separation also occurs. So the reaction can be shifted forward. So complete conversion can be taken place and separation can be taken place in only one unit operation. So this is one of the very famous case, successful case that process intensification and multifunctional reactor play very important role. So I would like to give you further example. What is the multifunctional reactor application? This is the project that I and my team received from NASDA. And the project we call the NASDA Chair Professor Grant. The main project involved the Royal project that, let's say, biodiesel production. So this is the project that our King Rama IX initiated. We need renewable energy. Biodiesel production is something useful, and right now we also still using biodiesel. So our project somehow, we think that if we apply multifunctional reactor, we can further make it much better. And the project we divided into 4 parts. The first one, we focus on the biodiesel production using unconventional reactors that we call multifunctional reactor to further improve it. The second project also relevant to the biofuel. We call the green diesel or biohydrogenated diesel. Somehow its properties are similar to the conventional petroleum diesel. The key is that the oil, it contains oxygen. It also contains oxygen in the molecules. So we use the hydroprocessing using hydrogen in order to extract oxygen from the molecules. So this kind of the BHD diesel or green diesel can be useful and can replace. You can use 100% of BHD to replace the diesel, but certainly it is quite expensive. So one of the challenge is to make it cheaper. And the third project in this project is on the hydrogen production. And you know that for the second project, you need hydrogen. And hydrogen is also expensive. But in the palm oil industry, there are a number of possibilities that we can generate hydrogen. One of the ways is to use the biomass gasification and then get hydrogen. Or one of the ways from the biodiesel production, you have glycerol. Glycerol can be reformed to produce hydrogen as well. So hydrogen can be further used for the BHD production. So the fourth project that we are working on is on the process design and integrated biorefinery. So as we can see that not only the biodiesel production, we also have many parts, BHD production, we also have the palm plantation, oil extraction, and so on. Many ways can be utilized within the industry. So we have to think how to utilize it efficiently. So computer simulation can be very useful. So this is the team that we gather from many university and research institutes working together. And I would like to show you some example on the biodiesel production. As you can see that the cost of the biodiesel is quite expensive. So one of the way to reduce the cost is to find some cheaper feedstock. And one of the cheaper feedstock is the waste cooking oil. But waste cooking oil somehow it contains also free fatty acid. So you cannot just directly use the than esterification to make the biodiesel. So there must be one pre-treatment step we call the esterification, trying to reduce the free fatty acid content first and then go further for the than esterification. But somehow the reaction takes long time, 2 hours, 3 hours or longer due to the conventional operation just mixing, use the stirrer to mix it. So the mass transfer is not so good. And also the reaction is limited by the equilibrium as well. So the way that we are thinking is to use the concept of reaction with separation. So the conventional way is to have esterification, separation, than esterification, and then separation. We can combine the process using the reactive distillation as I mentioned to you. So the feed, the ratio, in theory, oil and methanol should be 1:3. So the 1:3 can be used for the operation. In practice, they use 1:6 or 1:9 something. So excess of the methanol. So it's possible to integrate the reaction in reactive distillation. One column for esterification, the other for than esterification. And in our study, we propose that just combine in one single column, and it is possible. So this is one of the possibilities that our project proposed. And another multifunctional reactor that we are considering is called the spinning disk reactor. Somehow with the spinning disk, if you look at the photos, the spinning disk, when it rotates at slow speed, you can see the photo left upper one, mixing no good. But if you keep increasing the stirring speed, you can see that the rotational speed at 700 rounds per minute, you can see that mixture go simultaneously, homogeneously. So it is possible to use it for producing biodiesel. And somehow, instead of using several hours, just a minute, it's possible to produce biodiesel. So this is one of the key challenges that we try to use multifunctional reactor to make the reaction better. Another reactor that we develop, we call the rotating tube reactor. Somehow we have two tubes outside as a stator, stationary, and inside you rotate very fast so that you can initiate the shear. The feed inside the annulus part can be mixing very well. And obviously the mixing much better. So this is the reactor that we try to develop in small scale and then in a bigger scale. And one of the good things is that generally we need to heat the reaction. But by using this way, the heat generated by the friction can sustain the reaction mixture. So no need for the external heat. And another project that we are working on is on the hydrogen production. This is the conventional way for making the hydrogen via steam reforming, partial oxidation, and big problems. The reaction is equilibrium limited, and so on. So one of the ways that we try to propose is using the concept of sorption enhanced reaction. So the reaction which is equilibrium, from chemistry knowledge, you know that if we remove some of the product from the reaction mixture, the reaction go more complete. The equilibrium reaction can be shifted. So in this way, CO2, one of the product, can be absorbed by some solvent, for example, calcium oxide, hydrotalcides. So the reaction can be more complete. So after the reaction, you can regenerate and to get CO2. CO2 can go directly for sequestration or for further utilization. It is possible. So in our study, we consider the sorption enhanced steam reforming of glycerol or methane, biogas, and so on. It's possible. So maybe I go a little bit faster due to the time. Yeah? And also chemical looping is also a very good concept as well. It can replace the use of the partial oxidation. In conventional operation of partial oxidation, you need pure or high concentration oxygen. And to get it, you need to use some process, cryogenic process, to achieve oxygen. And it is quite costly. The use of metal oxide can be a solution that you have metal oxide converted to metal during the reaction, and the metal can be converted to metal oxide by combustion with air. So only the metal capture oxygen from the air. So this is the way to carefully separate oxygen from the air. So this is an example. Another project that I mentioned to you is on the VHD production. Our research team, they focus on trying to use some alternative feedstock, cheaper one, maybe PFAD, palm fatty acid distillate, not edible. So it can be a cheaper and more sustainable alternative, waste cooking oil, and so on. And another key challenge is that, as we mentioned, that we need hydrogen for hydroprocessing for the reaction. We also focus that if we can use syngas containing hydrogen and CO2 and CO, it also possible. From our study, it's okay. No need to get pure hydrogen. Syngas is still okay. And the last project that I would like to mention quickly is on the use of process system engineering. So you can see that from the palm oil industry, it involves many steps. Palm plantation, it also have generate many waste that we can further utilize it. And we can use systematic way to see, is it possible to use different part of the sector oil extraction? You may get some wastewater that right now they usually use it for converting it to biogas. Is it possible to utilize within the complex, something like this? So there are a number of work that we have been doing. But if you would like to look in more detail, you can go to this paper just published last year. So this is the one that we work seriously about this one, and among the most difficult paper that in my life, many revision 4 or 5 times, but eventually get it done successfully. And okay, I would like to summarize my talk. Sorry if I take so much time about this. You can see that biorefinery is a promising, sustainable approach to get our economy go sustainably. And it is one of the solutions that we can stop using the fossil underneath the world, and we can go for the net zero target for sure. And certainly we all need to work together, and many disciplines need to help each other. And that's all. Thank you very much. My acknowledgement. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe may I have one last question? Right now, anyone would like to study chemical engineering? Can you raise your hand? Okay, more people. I'm glad now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Suthichai Asabamrungrat, for sharing your valuable experience.
Here comes another exciting item, 2 project presentations by selected students. Please let us tell you that it was very difficult to select only 2 projects to be presented here this morning. The first project is titled A Study of Magnetic Nanoparticle Clustering in Fluid Flow by Thitiwat Goson Pathanadurong and Noparut Sotsi from Kamnoetvidya Science Academy, Thailand. Please welcome our speakers.
Hello. Okay, where's the pointer? I cannot use the pointer. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone here. My name is Thitiwat Gosanpanadurong.
And I'm Noparut Sotsi.
We are glad to be here to present our project, a study of magnetic nanoparticle clustering in the fluid flow. And let's start. Here's an outline of this presentation. I know all you guys won't read it, so I'm going to skip for that. Okay, in our scientific world, there exists a small size particle, humanly synthesized, and yet highly valuable in the biomedical field. It is our beloved friend, magnetic nanoparticle. Magnetic nanoparticle is a small size particle with its own magnetic dipole. So it can be easily manipulated by the external magnetic field, so it can be used in various biomedical applications. One of the phenomena that you can observe from these magnetic nanoparticles is the self-clustering, or the assembly of these particles. Different types of assembly could lead to a different efficiency in the treatment. Therefore, it's our job to investigate the clustering pattern. But before we move on, I would like to ask a simple question to you guys. Wow, what does crab motion look like to you? Imagine you are at a party. Yeah, that's you. Constantly fighting with each other, like that. So, the drunk crowd motion is closest to random motion, with collision between people inside a crowd. Some even form groups, or so-called cluster. As you can see, most of the time, the cluster appear to be lumpy, rounded, or disintegrated. Comparing this to our those little creatures.
I hate box.
Stop, bro. These little creatures can be covered, is perfectly aligned. That's because it has governed by some interaction between them. In this case, it's a pheromone. I often ponder the existence of a system in the middle, not to random like a crowd, not to align like ants. And that is our main character. Bam, magnetic nanoparticle. But how is it? Magnetic nanoparticle, its name also says itself, is small, so it experiences randomness through Brownian motion, but it's not magnetic, so it has magnetic interaction between these particles. So, as mentioned before, crowd motion appears to be lumpy, disintegrated, but ants motion appears to be linear. How about the situation in the middle? That's a real deal. And that's usually our research question. What type of cluster do magnetic nanoparticles are going to form? Would it be disintegrated or would it be linear like ants? And here's our research objective. We want to monitor the behavior of this magnetic nanoparticle, and we want to perform cluster analysis to investigate which type of cluster can be formed in the system. Note that we are interested in the magnetic nanoparticle in the fluid flow, since most of the application of magnetic nanoparticles is on the fluidic system. And that's it. So Toto will go on and talk about our model.
Okay, so after we have realized our objective, now we are going to develop a computational model to address this issue. Our framework includes these 3 main features. I would like to first talk about first one first. Okay, this is random motion. As the particle follow Lenswin dynamics, which is derived from Newton's law. The term that describes random motion is actually the third term, RT and square root, blah, blah, blah. it has to follow this condition in order to follow the random motion. Note that the first two terms is interaction between particles and the hydrodynamic interaction respectively. I would like to elaborate more on the coming slides. Okay, for the first term, the interaction between magnetic nanoparticles, there are two main contributions. The first one is Lennard-Jones interaction. You can see here. Okay, I don't. So it is Lennard-Jones interaction is the simplest model to describe repulsive and attractive force between two atoms. And then magnetic interaction, almost specifically dipole-dipole, which occur in the core of nanoparticles because they have magnetic dipole. And the last one is the second term, the interaction between nanoparticles and the fluid. You imagine colloidal particles moving in the fluid. There are drag force and drag torques exerting to the particles so that it can resist the particle's motion. So you can see the negative sign. However, we need to realize hydrodynamic radius first in order to calculate force and torque in simulation, which we will obtain separately from mean square displacement procedure. But you might ask, what is MSD or mean square displacement at first place? So it is a simulation framework that involves in tracking the position of the particles over time. According to Bose-Einstein relation, the square of displacement is proportional to time, which you can use the slope to calculate diffusion coefficient D. After that, we can use the value of D to calculate the value of hydrodynamic radius eventually. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait. Okay, here we use coarse-grained model to finding radius. We use coarse-grained model because it can reduce the simulation complexity and therefore require less computational power. Okay, now we have finished computational model, but we also need a mathematical model to describe the types of cluster. Okay, please have a look. You can see these three clusters have apparently different shape. But what if you wanna describe, classify the large amount of cluster at the same time and with the help of computer? Here we use two parameters. The first one is average nearest neighbor, dictated by cutoff diameter. And the second one is normalized dipole moment. This is the example. Okay, now we are moving to the results. First, I want to show you reference model. We used only magnetite nanoparticles. And first we found hydrodynamic radius from coarse-grained simulation. And before we are going to move to the main finding, this is initial parameters. So I will give it to William to talk about that.
So now our model all set. It's time to run the simulation. Bam. For calibration, we'll start with the cluster formation without the effect of flow. We tweak a Lennard-Jones parameter in our magnetic nanoparticle and see what would happen. And here's the result. As you can see here, when the Lennard-Jones parameter increases, the particle tends to arrange from linear to lumpy, like a crowd motion, like an ant motion to a crowd motion. For qualification, here's a time evolution of cluster formation at different shapes. Increasing the pairwise potential energy tends to destabilize the former linear pattern, resulting in a more lumpy pattern. But this doesn't follow the same case when there is a flow. So here we are interested in a magnetic nanoparticle confined in a constant shear flow. So the velocity profile of this situation is a linear profile in the z direction, as you can see here. And here's the result. As you can see here, when the shear rate increases, particle tends to form two main phenomena. The first one, as you can see here, the blue cluster or the linear cluster tends to align with the flow. And the second one is there is more lumpy or non-linear cluster or the red cluster formed in our system. But why is the case? To investigate this, we will use analytical investigation to see why did it happen. Here, you imagine every cluster in the system are governed by three main interactions: the magnetic interaction, the fluid interaction, and the Lennard-Jones interaction. Since the Lennard-Jones interaction is comparably small than other two, we're only interested into torques. Now we're going to use these two torques to explain these two phenomena. The first one is the alignment of linear cluster. So imagine like this. Every cluster in the flow is subjected to a fluid torque, which obviously perpendicular to the direction of the flow. But since from the previous equation, the torque for magnetic field and torque for fluid is equal to 0. So the magnetic torque must be negative of the fluid torque. So the magnetic torque must be perpendicular to the direction and flow, and implying that the linear cluster tends to align with the flow. Another phenomenon is the formation of nonlinear cluster. This can be explained by investigating the feasibility and limitation of magnetic torque and fluid torque at different types of cluster. As you can see here, that different types of cluster have different feasibility. So only certain types of cluster are able to thrive in the system when there is a flow. In this case, it's a non-linear cluster, as expected. Now we are moving to the conclusion.
Okay, I would like to conclude what we have done regarding our project. So we have developed a computational model to simulate the aggregation behavior of nanoparticles in flowing fluid environment. We also found a correlation between the shape or class of clusters and the parameters related to particles interaction. We also found a comprehensive understanding of the condition for forming a specific class of cluster. That's the end of the presentation. I want to give a very big thank to Teacher Adit. He is here. He's helping us so much in doing this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. That was such an interesting project. And next, our other selected project, investigating the use of eggshells as an antibacterial agent and in the removal of heavy metal ions by Xie Yu Heng and Ming Kong Jelo Sheng from Hua Chong Institution, Singapore. Please welcome our speakers.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joel Cheng from Hua Chong Institution, Singapore. And with me, I have Xia Yu Heng. Today, we are very honored to be given the opportunity to present our project investigating the use of eggshells as an antibacterial agent and in the removal of heavy metal ions in water at today's opening ceremony. Here's a brief overview of what we'll be going through today. Let's begin with a short introduction to our project. Okay, so our project was ideated as a solution to the problem of water pollution, results in water not being able to be consumed by humans. So globally, 490 million people do not have access to clean and safe drinking water. This results in at least 1 million deaths due to heavy metal poisoning each year and 800,000 deaths due to waterborne diseases caused by bacteria. So firstly, heavy metal ions are present in water due to discharge by factories. These can damage cellular constituents in our bodies and eventually result in death. Bacteria is also found in water due to effluent from fecal matter and farms. This may cause infectious diseases, which may also cause death in the long run. There are already some existing solutions to this problem, such as filtration and purification, harvesting water from the air, and using chemicals. However, all of these three solutions are very expensive, and hence you might not be able to find them in places where they are needed most. Here's our potential solution, eggshells. Firstly, they're highly available, and contain of mostly calcium carbonate. So why calcium carbonate? Well, when you heat up calcium carbonate, you get calcium oxide, and adding into water gives you calcium hydroxide, dissociates to form hydroxide ions, which upon oxidation forms hydroxyl radicals. Hydroxyl radicals can cause the cell death of bacteria in high amounts. Eggshells are also able to remove heavy metal ions from water. Heavy metal ions produce carbonates and hydroxides in water, which can be physically absorbed onto the eggshell surface. So our project aims to find out whether unheated eggshell powder, UESP, is effective in removing iron 3, copper 2, and zinc heavy metal ions from water, and whether HESP, heated eggshell powder, is effective in inhibiting the growth of Staphylococcus epidermidis and Pseudomonas putida.
Moving on to the methodology of our project. So firstly, experiments regarding the adsorption of heavy metal ion. So to prepare the unheated eggshell powder, which we call UESP, the eggshells cleaned by removing the eggshell membrane and washing it. After the eggshells were crushed and dried for further use. For the preparation of the heavy metal ion solutions, which will stimulate heavy metal ions present in polluted water, we dissolve nitrates of Fe3+, zinc 2+, and copper 2+ in deionized water to give 100 ppm of the respective solution. We then added the adsorbent material, which is the unheated eggshell powder that we have prepared earlier, into the respective heavy metal ion solutions. After that, the solutions were were incubated, and it was centrifuged the next day. For the ion concentration test, we added the H ion test reagents into the samples. After that, the final ion concentration was determined using a colorimeter. So here are results of the experiment that we have conducted. So as you can see, there's a decrease in the amount of ions present in solutions that were incubated with the unheated eggshell powder. So if you take a look for the iron 3 graph on the right, there's a decrease of around 90 times of the Fe3+ ions present in the solutions incubated. Also, we conducted FTI analysis on the USP samples. So the USP samples incubated with Fe3+, zinc 2+, and Cu2+, as well as a control was prepared after FTI analysis was conducted. So here's the FTI spectra of USP. So as you can see, the strongest peak of USP actually occurs at 1420 per cm. So this band is actually indicative of carbonate groups, and we can conclude that calcium carbonate is actually present in unheated eggshell powder. So here's the FTI spectra of USP incubated with the 3 heavy metal ions that we have conducted tests on. So as you can see, there's a lower transmitter percentage at the bands 1420 per cm, as well as 3410 per cm. So this indicates the presence of increased concentrations of hydroxides as well as carbonates. So why is this so? This is because the increased concentration of hydroxides as well as carbonates will absorb more light from these 2 respective bands. So we can conclude that the lower transmitter percentage indicates the increased concentration of these 2 functional groups present. So moving on to the antibacterial colony count test. So to prepare heated eggshell powder, which we call HESP, we first burned the USP derived previously until it was charred. Then sterile water was added to the HESP before the resulting mixture was centrifuged as well as microfiltered. We then inoculated the 2 bacteria that we were working with, Staphylococcus epidermidis as well as Pseudomonas putida, in LB broth before growing it overnight and adjusting its concentration. After that, we added the bacterial samples as well as the HESP stock solutions that we have prepared into LB broth. For the control setup, sterile water was added instead of the HESP extracts that we have prepared. After that, the mixtures were then incubated overnight before being diluted, and a small amount of the resulting solution was plated. The number of colony forming units were then determined. So here are the graphs showing the antibacterial property of the HESP extract. So as you can see, there's a decrease in number of colony forming units in the setups that were incubated with HESP. So man-made test p-values also yielded less than 0.05. This indicated statistical differences in the 2 setups.
Okay, with these concepts in mind, we actually created a prototype. So this is a very simple prototype. It basically just consists of 2 bottles where the unfiltered water is poured through the top, goes through the entire thing, ends up at a water storage container, where it's given time to react with the USP and HESP. This allows the heavy metal ions to be removed and for any antibacterial properties to take place. Okay, so the prototype we actually made is actually a scaled down version. So the beauty of it is that you can replace all these materials with whatever you have around you. For example, you can replace the 2 cups and bottles we use with larger water containers, and the cotton filters we use with any piece of fabric you have around you. So given the use of reusing materials around you, the cost of this prototype is virtually 0. So using this prototype, we actually conducted a rough test with it. So we found an absorption efficiency of above 95% for all 3 ions after the solutions were left with the eggshells for over 3 days. Okay, so here we come to the conclusion of our project. So we can conclude that unheated eggshell powder was effective in removing zinc, iron 3 and copper 2 heavy metal ions from water, and heated eggshell powder was effective in inhibiting the growth of Staphylococcus epidermidis and Pseudomonas putida. So this project actually provides a means of water purification to rural regions of developing countries where they may not have access to clean and safe drinking water. Our easy-to-construct prototype also allows waste materials to be used to provide clean and safe drinking water for those people. Okay, here are some of the references. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. That was a fantastic project. Now, we have come to the end of the opening ceremony. We would like to capture this priceless moment, the start of great friendships and valuable connections. So would you please stand up, everyone, and we'll be taking some pictures. Okay, so since this is our 7th year, please hold up a 7 with your fingers and smile to the camera. Three, two, one, smile. And next, can you please put your hands up and say Pioneers of Tomorrow together. 3, 2, 1, Pioneers of Tomorrow. One more time, please, everyone. 3, 2, 1, Pioneers of Tomorrow. Okay, and next, can we please have a thumbs up and give us a like? Can we have a thumbs up, please, everyone? 3, 2, 1, smile. And lastly, wave your flags to the camera and smile. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And please allow me to inform you that lunch will be served at our canteen on the 1st floor. In the afternoon, there will be poster presentations starting at 1 p.m. in the ARC, or our library on the 3rd floor. Also, please note that there will be a welcome party at the atrium at 5 p.m. You may find more information on our Instagram page, KVIS-ISF.
Thank you for your kind attention. Once again, we warmly welcome you to KVIS, and we hope that your stay here is a pleasant one. Thank you.